Now, before we give our picks on who's going to win the football game this week, we've got to talk about these uniforms.
It's my favorite part. Okay, I say everything's my favorite part of this game. I just love this game. It's one of my favorite parts of this game.
Let's take a look at both teams. By the way, let me set it up both ways. Both of these teams celebrating 250 years of the ultimate opportunity to serve and to reflect on your country and on being a part of the armed forces, and the 250th birthday, of course, with the United States of America, and that celebration that continues going into July 4th of this year. So both teams kind of with a similar feel to them whenever it comes to their uniforms. Let's start with Army. Let's talk about the Army Black Knights.
Here in these 13 colonies, we work to build a nation that will endure through the ages. To win our independence, we must create a force strong enough to outmatch any other. A force that is selfless and disciplined, who will bravely fight for our freedom from British rule. A force that will protect the American people and our democracy. I will forge the United States Army.
The Continental Congress appointed George Washington to lead America's army, a force that united the 13 colonies and won a stunning victory against the seasoned British regulars, inspiring hope across the young nation. For 2.5 centuries, over 40 million Americans have worn the Army's uniform. Their selfless service has been and remains permanently intertwined with our nation's history. With some making the ultimate sacrifice to protect their fellow Americans, Marble stands as a symbol of the strength of American democracy and the U.S. Army as its protector. It honors those who served and never returned, and the sacrifices of all who wear the uniform. Through their service and sacrifice, soldiers demonstrate their commitment to the mission and place the welfare of the nation above their own. As General George Patton once said, the highest obligation and privilege of citizenship is that of bearing arms for one's country. On the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, we honor those who have committed their lives to defend our freedom. On December 13th, Army football will do what the United States Army has done since 1775. Fight with everything they have until the final whistle. Go Army, beat Navy.
How about that? You take a look at really the deep meaning behind this Army uniform. You get that purple streaking through the jersey numbers, and of course all of that going back to the sacrifice made by soldiers and Gold Star families, tracing its lineage back to the badge of military merit, the predecessor to the Purple Heart, first of course put together by General George Washington during the American Revolution. I mean, this is history that we're talking about all the way back throughout the entirety of this country, Maria, and it's really cool to see that personified in this football uniform as both teams continue to show out going into this Army-Navy game.
Well, that's the coolest thing, right? Is the way that the attention to detail is just so magnified. It's one thing to pay attention to detail. It's one thing to have really cool visuals, but the meaning behind every single thing that went into each of these uniforms is what I love about the thought process behind them. And I think the little script, just the service words, I believe it's on the helmet, and just the different things that they have included is what makes it so cool, is because there's a story behind all of it. And shout out to the creative teams also for putting together the videos to tell the story. I mean, we're storytellers, Kyle, and I think that you can really appreciate the way that they have this thought out, the way that not only the uniforms represent things, but the story that goes into the uniforms represents so much. And so, man, I in particular love the helmets from Army. The detail on the helmets is what stands out to me the most.
Yeah, they're really a beautiful uniform, beautiful video, beautiful all together. Now, of course, we've seen how these uniforms have come together and the meaning behind them. I do want to give credit. It's the 10th season that Army football and the United States Military Academy's Department of History and War Studies have collaborated on these uniforms with Nike, specifically for the Army-Navy game. So credit to them, credit to what they've put together to try and personify the history, but also push it back to the gridiron and what we'll get to see coming up this week. Now, let's take a look at what Navy's bringing to the table on their uniform combo this week.
For over 250 years, the United States Navy has ruled the seas as a relentless force of power and freedom. USS Constitution was the spark that ignited a legacy of dominance that surges across every ocean today. Six frigates forged a nation's strength upon the open sea, and their spirit endures in every sailor who carries their creed. Don't give up the ship.
Wow, how cool is that, Maria?
Woo!
Unbelievable.
I'm a big fan. The helmets on these too. I think those are one of my favorite parts is the detail on the helmets because there's so much. Oh man, like just look at the coloring of it as well. I know we're gonna have to pick, but I'm gonna have reason.
Are we gonna have to pick? I don't know if I'm gonna want to pick.
I don't know. I don't really want to pick because
Yeah.
I just think
These are one of the games where you don't have to. You don't have to pick. You can just enjoy because
Okay.
I agree with
I'm
you.
not picking. I'm abstaining from picking because I think they're both phenomenal.
I like it. And each one of those helmets that you just talked about, 4 hours to hand paint each one of those helmets. You talk about the detail and the design. Honestly, I thought it would probably be more than the 4 hours to hand paint it, but
right?
that's incredible. The left side of the helmet, if you're looking at the helmet straight on from like a face mask standpoint, the left side, the USN is in the monogram copper and outlined in dark navy on the outside of it, which is the same design that's present in the rotunda of Bancroft Hall that ties the Naval Academy back to the 250th anniversary of the Navy. Shout out to the Navy Sports Information Department to have that information readily available. So you talk about details, all of it detailed throughout on both of these uniforms, an incredible look. And of course, it just means a little bit more when you can bring back the history to it, but also with the 250th celebration of the Army and the Navy, and of course, the United States of America. It's really a fun environment, and it's going to be something that I think we'll remember for quite some time whenever we get to finally see these uniforms in person on the field at M&T Bank Stadium coming up this week, Maria.
I keep saying that I love this game. There's so many things that are my favorite parts, but the detail, what it means, the history involved in it. There's always history involved in the uniforms that they put together, right? You talked about how they've worked together with different historical departments to be able to tell these stories. But I think when there is so much meaning behind a game as a whole, there's so much meaning behind both of these institutions. And then they take all of that and then they display it in terms of uniforms, in terms of storytelling, in terms of the young men that step on the field that day.